I want to talk about my 0 button build that I have updated. It's a lot more cozy now. It feels a lot better. And I just want to tell you some things I've learned since the last video, how to scale it, how to enjoy it, how to make it feel really, really nice. Of course, the items you definitely need are going to be Corpsewade to use Decompose in general. You're going to need a Snake Bite, which is going to have you have +1 poisons at the same time. If you want to do it like I am, now, this is doubled for me, so this is +2 poisons. So that is 2 of my 10 poisons. So if you want to sacrifice that much DPS, you can just swap out these bracers. Maybe there's something better. I'm still learning as I go. I have a scepter here with +4 minion skills and increased minion life. I have a helmet here with +2 minion skills. And I also have an amulet here with +2 minion skills. The rest of this is adding evasion and ES. This is the biggest change. By adding this shield, instead of having I was using a wand last time, then I switched to this focus. But now, by running this, I'm getting, like, I'm trying to remember the numbers right. I think it's 1,200 ES once it overcaps. I'm getting 41% block, and I'm getting 10% armor added on top of everything else. And every time one of these guys dies, or an enemy dies that's near me, there's a chance for them to drop, let me find it here, 501 energy shield right now, which you can see does increase with global modifiers, which means this is my minion, my plus minion level is on Grim Feast. So that feels really, really good. It feels really good. It keeps me topped up throughout the map. Decompose is, as you can see here, an AoE fire chaos duration spell, but sadly, chaos percentage doesn't do anything, fire percentage doesn't do anything, and spell percentage doesn't do anything. Why do I say that? Well, I ran it with a wand that gave spell and chaos percent. I ran it with a focus that gives spell and chaos percent. I did some testing against bosses, campaign bosses, so there were no modifiers, and the DPS didn't change. So either there's a DPS cap I don't know about, or these don't matter. And it does make sense they don't matter because of the wording. Poisons enemies as though dealing chaos damage equal to 38.5% of corpse's maximum life. So, to be clear, that is as if dealing damage, as though I mean. So I'm not actually dealing chaos damage, I'm just straight up poisoning them. So I guess that makes sense. So to scale this, you need to increase corpse life, which happens naturally through maps, or you need to increase the life of your minions here, which is what I am doing. And I'm doing that with a Meat Shield, Arcane Tempo, Ingenuity, and Minion Mastery. Now, if you look here, they only have 16,421, so it's only a little over 16,000 life. It was higher, but I gave up some of that from this so I could do this. I'm also going to show you why I changed it. It actually increases the DPS even when this goes down. You'll have to do math yourself to, like, figure out if you want to min-max it, but I'll show you what I mean. And then Meat Shield with Minion Mastery. This is an option with a really high number, but these will not revive. So maybe if you want to, you can do a tech where you roll. Well, if you roll, rolling is not walking. So if you roll, you can get these brutes up, wait for them to run to a boss and walk technically, and then just keep running away until it resets. I don't think that's a good idea. I'd probably still run around with my clerics, get my Grim Feast up, get the huge amount of poison all over the arena, but I haven't done any pinnacle bosses, so we'll see. Decompose itself is just running a deadly poison. It's running comorbidity for +1 poison. It's running magnified effect just so your overlap is better in maps, but also that would help with bosses that move. And corpse conservation because it's really, really nice. I'll explain as we go. So if I go to my sheet here, if you've looked at my previous video, you're going to see a big change. We are still Pathfinder. I went up and I have Contagious Contamination going up to Overwhelming Toxicity. This doubles my amount of poisons. This doesn't really need it. And then we have Traveler's Wisdom here, which is 5 passive skill points with 1 additional. I still haven't spec'd out of this evasion. It's probably better if I do, but I haven't done it yet. And I go down and I grab these evasion nodes, this poison node here with duration skill effect. Skill effect duration also increases the length of time your clouds stick around. It's part of why I'm keeping it. Probably don't really need it. It also is nice if there's a boss running out of your clouds, the poison duration, though. And this decreases magnitude, but gives me +1 poison, which is actually +2. And I'm heading down here at the moment. That might change. I'm still changing everything up. I have this here, which gives me increased magnitude of poisons you inflict. I spec'd out of the duration as much as I could, because I just don't need it anymore. I path up here. Right now, I'm grabbing this ES and energy shield stuff. Maybe I don't actually want it. I go over here and I grab increased magnitude and recover life on kill. Obviously, life on kill is not useful. This is poison duration, magnitude, and duration again. So, not the best over here. And I have a jewel here, which you'll see is increased maximum minion life. We'll see more jewels that are different. I'll show you what I'm actually doing to increase DPS over just stacking life. Come over here, we have magnitudes. And then we take the increased duration here, just because why not? And then we take this here, which is +1 poison. Pretty nice. Another jewel here. This is just going to be, again, 15% minion life. Nothing else matters, which is what kind of sucks about these jewels. You want one single thing. Also makes them a little cheaper to grab, so maybe these are the early jewels you get just to get yourself going. I go over here and I grab reduced mana, but 40% maximum energy shield. Decomposed does not use any mana, so we really don't need it. You could also try to get some damage recouped, damage taken as mana stuff if you could. That would be really nice on this build. I go up here, I grab life, I grab life, I grab life, I grab a big life, I waste a node for damage, but then I grab 20% move speed, increase attack and cast speed. This is so important. If you do not take this, I want to be very clear, your clerics were going to run out behind you and die a lot more when you're mapping. This is the only source of minion movement speed that I am aware of. You are going to want this, and the cast speed is going to help them revive faster. I would get this. I then go up here now, and I add in this jewel, which I volled myself, but I bought it. It gives me cannot be hindered, increased movement speed, magnitude of ailment you inflict, and magnitude of poison you inflict. I believe both the ailment and poison affect me. I might be wrong, let me know. But this, I did some math, and this was bigger DPS increase than minion life. And because this is not based on minion life, this means mapping. This is a bigger DPS increase when I'm dealing with packs, because it's based off the minion life, the corpse life of the mob then, and this is the magnitude on top of that. I go down and I grab CI, and if you're grabbing CI, I think you're stupid if you're not going up here and grabbing the 60% maximum energy shield. Now, this does come with the negative 20% slower start of energy shield regen. We don't care. We are keeping overcapped, right? Because of Grim Feast, so we don't care. I have another minion life here, which some of these are probably going to be swapped out for like this again. I head over here. I go down for minion life, and here we just have a big minion life. I have another jewel here, which is, again, this is minion life, which I could swap out. And I grab energy shield. This is a whole energy shield wheel. I grab a bunch of energy shield. This reduces my max life, which who cares? And I could also go over here, get this attribute, and grab more minion life if I want. There might be a case here where you get one of the time lost jewels that does the AoE, and maybe that comes really good here. I'm going to have to play around with that and find out. So with all that said, I think that is the tree. Now, also, I could path down this way, take this jewel socket, move down, and get magnitude of ailments, ailments faster, and that would be pretty nice. The issue with doing that is basically just, I thought about anointing, but these anoints are very expensive, so I haven't wanted to do that. What I did anoint was cat-like agility, because it was super cheap, and it's just evasion rating and increased evasion if you dodge rolled recently. Well, I do this sometimes like on bosses. I dodge stuff, but also I'll do this sometimes when I'm down to like a few seconds left, because if you look, because of the way GGG has programmed this, even though they're coming back, this here will reset up to its max length. So rolling can sometimes, if you strategically roll, it'll give you enough time to refill it. Oh, I definitely forgot another part of the tree here. I'm sorry about that. Where is that part? Oh, right here. So I went up here and I also grabbed increased damage if you consumed a corpse recently. I don't believe this does anything. I'm sad. I'm very sad. I went up and took chance to not destroy, chance to not destroy, and then another chance to not destroy. So what this means is, if I go to decompose here, I believe it tells me, I thought it did. Yeah, here it is. Chance to not destroy corpses is 50%. And my cloud duration is almost 5 seconds. So, yeah, that's pretty big. That means that I can get more clouds down in boss arenas with fewer clerics if they die or they weren't revived. It means that when I'm running the map, my clerics don't die. It also means that sometimes if I kill a big enemy, I might get to reuse the corpse multiple times. It just makes it so, especially when there's corpses and your minions, it's less likely to hit your minions and actually take them out. It feels very cozy, very nice. But that is basically the build changes. I think that covers essentially everything. Scroll down here, just show you. You know, I am, of course, I'm capped, as you can see up there. I got little thorns. Not that matters. Flash charges you use modifiers, movement speed modifiers. It's whatever. It's not the fastest build. It's very nice and cozy. I don't feel like I die nearly as often as my other build, which was a minion build. I think I'm almost the same level already. I had some friends, actually, that saw me at like level 79, and then they saw me shortly after. They saw me. I quit for the night, started up the next day. Shortly after playing, they messaged me and said, "Holy shit, were you up all night playing?" Because I was up to 80 something, and my response was, "No, I just don't die anymore, and I can run high level maps." And that was before I grabbed this. Before I grabbed this shield, I was still running at the time. This right here, and this was hard to die. It was hard for me to die with this focus. With this, I haven't died yet. I'm sure the one shot out there waiting for me. But with 51% evasion, 41% block, this much armor, and that much energy shield, we'll see what ends up taking me out. It's probably going to be a juice rare rather than a map boss. Yeah, just thought I would share. I will say that if you're trying to make this work like I am, strength is obviously going to be an issue. As you can see, my strength is pretty low, and dex can be an issue. I did have dex. I don't actually need this for my dex, as you can see, but that's there for dex at one point. You can also get dex. If you want energy shield in your helmet, you can get dex. And then here for the shield, I did not have the strength. So if I take this off, this is what I had before. You'll see I can't put this on.
Not with these muscles.
So I bought this for 1 exalt because I didn't have any. Just a high strength ring. Probably should just keep one of each and this. And solved it. So yeah, just solving my own problems as I go. I didn't follow a build guide or anything. This was just homebrewed, and we don't have Path of Building, so that kind of sucks. I do need to go and do some more math with like magnitudes and life and stuff. And my minions are not maxed out. I think they're level 18. Yeah, they're level 18. So I actually have level 19 gems that have dropped while I was playing this build. I just need to get my character level up high enough to actually do the upgrade. And then they'll have even more life on top of that. So there's also ways I can expand. So, for example, you can get another minion level from the helmets if you didn't know. You can get them from Ball. You can get Spirit from this. I have no Spirit on the amulet, but I'm going to be honest. After a lot of testing, that number's wrong. It's not 45. There are 9 of these guys. 9 clerics is enough, I think. I think it feels good. Because with 50% not using a corpse, it's very easy to get my 10 stacks on bosses, and that's where the only worry is bosses. Map bosses I've had no problems with, and I am using this, which is the additional modifiers on rare and unique. Probably shouldn't use that. The only time I've had a problem with bosses is if they stack, and rares sometimes, but rares generally don't have enough life for this to be a problem. if they stack like temporal stuff, the slower your character walks, you can walk so slow that the game doesn't register it as a step. I don't know why. And then you don't blow anything up. So that is a way to brick. That's a way to brick. And then you have to basically get out of the bubble, which is really hard. And once you get out, you just have to run away, wait for your minions to respawn if they died, and then just reset. But still working on it. Having some fun. As you can see here, I'm building up through finishing up the map stuff. Have not seen a single citadel. Have not seen one.